The most interesting thing about this Tupac murder trial is Diddy, which is odd to say because Keefe D is the one that's on trial. But just seeing like how the police is asking about Diddy, they're working day and night to implement Diddy within this case, bringing Diddy name up at every chance. It's very odd because Diddy is not on trial, but Diddy name has damn near came up more than Suge Knight's name have came up, and Suge Knight was actually present when his shots rang off. Now, the reason why that's interesting, and you know that you need to pay attention to that, and that there's an angle coming down the pipeline, the feds are involved, is because when Gene Deal, Diddy's bodyguard, did an interview with Laura Coates with CNN, Gene Deal stated that the real answers behind Tupac's murder is being held in sealed documents that only the feds got.
Are you ever going to learn the full truth here, given that people would rather not speak about this?
Well, I believe that the full truth holds with FBI investigators. The full truth holds with documents and certain things that has been sealed, and that the full truth holds with people who was actually there.
This is a state case. Why would the feds or the FBI have sealed documents in regards to this case that they are not releasing? What information do the feds got about this case that the state police don't have? What are they concealing? What are they holding back? What are they using the information they're holding back for? And I think Diddy is the answer. See, Gene Deal will go on Art of the Dialogue. Shout out to Art. And Gene Deal will break down how desperately, all right, the prosecution have been trying to get him to come to court to testify, not to testify about whether or not he knows if Keefe D did it or not, but to testify about the connection between Diddy and Keefe D.
Suge said that somebody had ran up on the car that wasn't supposed to be up on the car. That's why they would want me to come testify. Because they want to put an association with Keefe D and Diddy. And what they wanted Diddy at that time for is to, if Diddy be the scapegoat, you understand? Diddy would be their scapegoat, or why there was such thing called the East Coast, West Coast War. Because if he had Tupac killed, if he put up the money for Tupac to be killed, then it's easier for them to say that gangbangers, and it's easier for them to say that somebody associated with Death Row killed Biggie. You understand what I'm saying? So now we got to keep this going. So we got to use Keefe D and his association with Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop.
Diddy's actual involvement in this, like Keefe D and Tupac murder, it actually extends far beyond the night that Tupac was actually killed. If you guys remember, Tupac attacked Orlando Anderson at the MGM or in a hotel because Orlando Anderson robbed one of the homies that Pac was with a few days prior. And you know why Orlando Anderson and the rest of them robbed Tupac's homies for his death row chain? You know why? Because apparently Diddy put a bounty out on a death row chain that if you snatch a death row chain, you get like $5,000. So Diddy was actually the reason why Tupac even had the fight with Orlando Anderson, which led to Orlando Anderson and Keefe D going back and murdering Tupac. Now, if you're Gene Deal, you don't believe, right, that Keefe D or Orlando Anderson acted alone. You don't believe it at all. You actually believe that this is a much bigger conspiracy, and we'll get into that shortly. But they're asking Gene Deal to come and testify to build a Diddy connection because they're looking to get Diddy, which is why the feds would even be involved. Now, obviously, we know the FBI initially got involved because I guess the LAPD or rumors were going around the LAPD or the Las Vegas PD may have been involved. So the FBI stepped in to conduct an independent investigation. But they wouldn't have any proprietary information that they are currently keeping a secret and sealed that the state prosecutors wouldn't be able to use. If they're keeping something sealed, that means they're keeping it to use it for future proceedings.
Brother Love, Puff, whatever his name is, We got to keep their association going along with each other. So that's why he was saying that they wanted Diddy, because Miss Wallace had that $400 million lawsuit against the LAPD. So they wanted to implicate Diddy in that whole stuff with Keefe D so they can get out of that whole situation of that lawsuit. They want me to they want me to show that Keefe D and Diddy had a relationship. They want me to establish what I know about Keefe D and Puff coercing with each other when they're around each other, gambling, laughing, drinking, popping bottles, the whole 9 yards. That's what they wanted me to do.
You can't present two motives at this trial. You can't say, yo, Keefe D and Orlando and the homies they were with, they went and murdered Tupac because Tupac and his crew jumped Orlando. If that's the motive, that's the motive. This was heated in the moment. They went looking for Pac because Pac jumped Orlando. You don't say, well, yeah, that's the motive, but here's another motive as well. They went and murdered Pac because Diddy paid. Yeah, well, okay. Well, if they murdered Pac because of Diddy, then they were already planning to murder Tupac regardless of the fight. So the fight wouldn't be the motive, right? It's the Diddy's payment. So what's the motive? Did they murder Pac because of Diddy paying them, or did they murder Pac because Pac and them jumped Orlando? Which one is it? Which one is it? Which would also explain as well, because when Keefe D, when they pulled up on Suge and Pac, Keefe D says that one homie had the gun on him, but the homie who had the gun was scared to shoot. So they passed the gun to Orlando. Well, if Orlando was the one that got jumped, then wouldn't the plan would have been from the very beginning that Orlando would have been the one who shot at Pac and Suge? Right? Like it wouldn't, right? Like wouldn't that have been the original plan? Yeah, Orlando will shoot, since Orlando the one who got jumped. It being a dispute on who shoots will only matter if Diddy was paying. If they were doing this hit because of Diddy and who shot the gun was supposed to get paid, right? Like that's the only dispute, because if somebody jumps you and we riding to go find them because they jumped you, then you're gonna pull the trigger and there's no dispute about it. Like, bro, I'm not handing the gun to somebody else. And when that person says, nah, bro, I'm not doing it, and then I pass the gun to you, man, cut it out, bro. Okay? Now, at trial, they brought up Diddy extensively, right? You know, we've reviewed this in the past, but at trial, they brought up Diddy extensively. Keefe D even like went to New York with a wire on to get a Zip, right, which was one of Diddy's homies, to admit that Diddy gave him $1 million to give to Keefe D for the Tupac hit.
Mr. Davis had a narcotics friend in New York by the name of Equan Williams, Zip. He said he could, this is a lot deeper than that. Sean Puffy Combs was supposed to have given money to Zip Martin to give to Mr. Davis for payment of the Tupac murder. Fast forward, we go to Mr. Davis. He says he can rekindle that relationship with Mr. Zip Martin and get him to talk about the money that was given from Sean Puffy Combs to Mr. Martin that never got to Mr. Davis.
And did you guys or Mr. Davis come up with a plan to get leverage on Mr. Williams, Zip? What was the idea?
Me, Detective Kading, ATF Jim Black, and Keefe D, Mr. Davis, flew to New York so Mr. Davis can work undercover to try to rekindle that friendship and business relationship with Zip.
And when Mr. Davis goes in to, do you remember the name of the club?
It's called the Zip Code in Harlem.
Does he in fact meet with Zip?
Zip, he did, but from what we gathered from Mr. Davis told us, he passed him off to his nephew, meaning Zip passed him off to his nephew to do business with him. Zip had cancer or something like that. He was sickly. He said he wasn't in the business no more, something like that. So it didn't work.
So he was unable to reestablish a business relationship and do a drug deal with Zip so that you would have leverage to then talk to Zip about what Mr. Davis told me.
They were trying to run the same play on Zip that they were trying to run on Keefe D. Or they ran on Keefe D successfully. Zip was a big-time drug dealer. If Keefe D wore that wire and got Zip to admit or to engage in a transaction with Keefe D, now Zip have some real serious charges on his jacket, and now they can step in and say, hey, bro, give us Diddy. That was the master plan. Zip was just a mastermind, bro. Zip already finessed Keefe D for $1 million. So Keefe D showing up, pretending like he not mad and he just trying to work and do more deals. Man, Zip, man, get out of my face, bro. Bro, is you dumb? Man, talk to my nephew, man. I finessed you for $1 million. I took the $1 million that belonged to you. You show up, not upset and not mad. You friendly as can be, asking for us to start working again. Man, all right, man. Bro, I'm shocked they thought that's going to work on a grimy dude like Zip. Right? But that's what it was. They wanted to entrap Zip so Zip can give up Diddy. For them to have this much of a hard-on for Diddy, I'm telling you, bro, they on this man's bumper. Yo, I was already kind of like surprised and shook the feds gave Diddy a RICO case. Like, you guys forget, like the case that Diddy just had was a RICO, a racketeering. They said Diddy was the leader of a criminal enterprise. But the criminal enterprise they named, Diddy was like the only member because nobody else got charged. So that was kind of tricky. So Diddy has already been named as a leader of a criminal enterprise in a federal indictment already. So everything you see now or everything you're seeing is them trying to line up Diddy. Now, again, man, people have their suspicion of Gene Dale. I'm not going to speak on that. I don't know what Gene Dale is saying is true. I don't know if he's lying. I don't know. But if he's telling the truth, if the feds got sealed indictment with Diddy name on it, sealed paperwork with Diddy name on it, tie him to this Tupac case, and the information is so important that they're not risking releasing it even when Keefe D is on trial, oh, no, Diddy gonna be Harlem shaking in jail forever. Is you crazy? Think about it for a second, bro. They was trying to get Diddy life. Diddy embarrassed the feds. They not letting him get away with that, bro. I don't think y'all understand how serious those RICO charges they put on Diddy was, bro. Cash Out the Rapper got 2 life sentences for something very similar to accuse Diddy of. They listed Cassie and Jane Doe, 50 Cent Baby Mama, right? Daffy and Joy. They listed them two as workers, right? As sex workers that Diddy was pimping out. They deliberately listed them as workers to paint Diddy as a pimp and said Diddy was pimping them out. Then they put force and coercion on there to tack on the grape charges. If Diddy was to be found guilty, we're talking about 2 grape charges, 2 trafficking charges, pimping charges. Bro, Diddy would have been gone for life. The fact that he beat a guy the egg on their face and now they want that get back. Yo, they want Diddy to rot in jail, rot in prison. I'm telling you, bro, this is bad. Now, Gene Dale, he went on his live stream the other night. Now, he has a theory that LAPD and the feds are involved, that they're the ones who killed Biggie and Tupac. Now, like, I don't even know his exact theory because it's kind of murky. Some interviews, Keefe D may have been involved, may have not. Like, is he saying, yo, the feds did this completely and Keefe D ain't do nothing, he wasn't there? Who knows, right? But he believes the feds are heavily involved. And like they want Diddy to come in, Keefe D to come in because they're passing it on Diddy and Keefe D. Now, I don't know how I believe that theory, right? I do believe that Keefe D and his homies like shot and killed Tupac, right? Now, who they shot and killed Tupac for, whether it's Diddy or the feds or themselves, who knows? But I do think Keefe D is involved and should do life in prison. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? Y'all think it's cooked for Diddy? Let me know, okay? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, then click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here, or here, or here, somewhere on my screen to find out why they saying Lil Durk snitched on everything, right, today in court. I'm going to see you guys in this Lil Durk video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.